Babylon Bee is getting canceled by the Catholics.
Hello everyone, I'm Joseph Dinesh, a Catholic commentator from Sydney, Australia. In today's video, we will be examining a post of mockery by the Babylon Bee, a Christian satire site that sarcastically questions the perpetual virginity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Given that the site is run by a group of Protestants, the disrespect towards Mary is not entirely surprising. However, this post has drawn attention because it challenges one of the key Marian dogmas, which is the perpetual virginity of Mother Mary. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to address and debunk some of the common Protestant objections to this significant doctrine. Now, some of you might wonder, why should we focus on whether Mary remained virgin or not, especially when there are many other pressing issues to address? As I've stated in other videos, bad Mariology leads to bad Christology. Understanding who Jesus truly is requires us to understand who Mary is as well. The Marian dogmas, including the perpetual virginity, are ultimately more about Jesus than about Mary herself. Before we dive into the main discussion, let me briefly explain the dogma of perpetual virginity. This central belief in Catholic theology teaches that Mary, the mother of Jesus, remained a virgin before, during, and after his birth. This doctrine was affirmed by various church councils, including the Lateran Council in the year 649, which explicitly upheld Mary's perpetual virginity. So with that, let's get started. In the first clip, we have a Protestant YouTube influencer, Ruslan, reacting to the satirical post from the Babylon Bee, which humorously depicts St. Joseph's shock that Mary intended to remain a perpetual virgin. Let's listen.
My Catholic brothers and sisters, I love you. All right, but this is funny. This is funny, and we're gonna look at Trent Horn. We're gonna steel man.
Yeah, we're gonna steel man.
We're gonna steel man. We're gonna go to the best of the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a meme they posted, and it said, "You gonna be perpetual what?"
Joseph asks Mary on wedding night. Oh man, they got the face. I wonder if that was drawn just to look like that meme of that guy.
That's amazing.
That is really funny. And so then this took off.
Now, before we dwell into the Protestant arguments, let's first clarify why the Catholic Church insists on the perpetual virginity of Mother Mary and how this belief is connected to our understanding of Jesus. To help explain this, let's hear from Bishop Barron and Brandon Watt.
Mary's virginity, of course, is very important for the truth of the incarnation. So if Mary conceived in the usual way, well, then we're not really dealing with the incarnation of the Son of God. But as the angel says to her, the Holy Spirit will overshadow you, and the one born in you will be called the Son of the Most High. And so her virginity is a very important way of witnessing to the fact of the incarnation. Tell me I'm curious about that, how you, moving from the Protestant to the Catholic world, resolve the perpetual virginity issue.
I think if I remember correctly, I was reading a lot about typology, the way that these Old Testament signs and symbols pointed forward to the New Testament. And a lot of the authors I was reading were connecting Mary to the Ark of the Old Covenant, and they would suggest, just as the ark carried the manna and the staff and the 10 Commandments, but after it served its purpose, you wouldn't just use the ark as a dinner table, or just as the chalice at Mass, after it had served its great liturgical purpose, you wouldn't just bring it to the back and, pour some Coke in it and drink out of it. So there's something sacred about Mary as this vessel that contained God within her that had to remain perpetually pure.
That's lovely. And I love the image of the ark. Years ago, when I used to give tours at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, on the facade is that typical medieval connection between Mary and the Ark. Goes back to the Church Fathers too, because she's the definitive Ark of the Covenant, because she bears in her own body the presence of the Lord in the richest possible way, and that just keeps generating new meaning. I think Mary, the Ark, the vessel. The sacred chalice in a way, so I think that's beautiful stuff.
Now moving on to the three common Protestant objections to the doctrine of perpetual virginity of Mother Mary. First, Protestants often point to passages in the New Testament that mention brothers and sisters of Jesus, especially in Matthew chapter 13 verses 55 to 56, as evidence that Mary had other children after Jesus, thus contradicting the idea of her perpetual virginity. Well, what's the answer to that question? The Catholic Church explains that the terms brothers and sisters in these passages are not to be understood as biological siblings, but rather as close relatives such as cousins. The Greek word adelphos used in these contexts can refer to any close kin, not just siblings from the same parents. Second, some Protestants argue that Matthew chapter 1 verses 25, which states that Joseph knew her not until she had borne a son, implies that Mary and Joseph had marital relations after Jesus' birth, suggesting that she did not remain a virgin. Well, the answer to this question is the word until in biblical language does not necessarily imply that something happened afterward. The Catholic Church teaches that this verse emphasizes that Mary was a virgin at the time of Jesus' birth without implying anything about her marital relations afterward. Numerous other biblical passages use until without implying a change after the fact. For example, 2 Samuel chapter 6 verses 23 states, "And Michal, the daughter of Sarah, had no children until the day of her death." Now, analyzing this verse, it does not mean that she had children after her death. Rather, it emphasizes that she never had children. Now, moving on to the third and final objection. Some Protestants question the theological necessity of Mary's perpetual virginity, arguing that it is not essential to the Christian faith and that it detracts from the centrality of Christ. The answer to this question is, the Catholic Church teaches that Mary's perpetual virginity is important because it underscores her unique role in salvation history and her total consecration to God. It also highlights the miraculous nature of Jesus' birth, affirming his divine origin. Mary's virginity is seen not just as physical state, but also as a sign of her spiritual purity and dedication, which points to the holiness of Christ himself. Let me conclude with the quote of St. Thomas Aquinas. "It was fitting that Christ should be born of a virgin, because this brings about the salvation of mankind by the incarnate word, which transcends the whole order of nature." I hope this video was helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. God bless you.